Vincent simply watched his home burn. He was floating in orbit, far above the planet that had once been his sanctuary, his place of peace. Below, the atmosphere glowed with angry, orange flares. Explosions rippled across the surface, sending clouds of debris into the vacuum. The once vibrant city, a beacon of galactic unity, was now a shattered monument to chaos. The Void Whisperers had launched their most devastating attack yet, a full-scale assault that bypassed all the Enforcer's defenses. He could feel it, the overwhelming tide of despair, amplified by 1,000 unseen whispers, tearing at the very fabric of the planet's consciousness. It was worse than anything he had ever encountered. The harmony signal, once so powerful, was struggling, flickering like a dying flame against the onslaught. Mach was beside him in the cockpit of their stealth ship, his massive hands clenched on the controls, his face a mask of grim determination. They had fought relentlessly, but this was different. This was total war, a direct assault on the core of galactic peace. They're too strong, Mach rumbled, his voice heavy with despair. Our defenses are failing. The Harmony Project, it's being overwhelmed. Vincent felt the cold grip of hopelessness threatening to consume him. He had dedicated his life to countering the Void Whisperers, to fostering harmony. He had saved countless lives, disarmed their weapons, dismantled their cells. But now, it felt like it was all for nothing. His own efforts, his personal journey, was failing. He closed his eyes, forcing himself to push past the despair. He reached out with his empathic senses, not to fight the whispers, but to understand them. He sought their source, their core. He remembered his mother's research, her belief in humanity's unique empathic resonance. He remembered the conduits, their raw, untamed power. And then, he found it, not a physical location, but a nexus of psychic energy, a convergence point where the Void Whisperer's influence was strongest. It was located deep within the planet's core, not a man-made structure, but something ancient, something that resonated with the planet's own suffering. It was a wound, a long-forgotten scar, from which the whispers were now bleeding out. It's not just an attack, Mach, Vincent said, opening his eyes, his voice strained but resolute. They're exploiting something. There's a source, a deep wound in the planet's core. It's amplifying their influence. Mach looked at him, his brow furrowed. A wound? What kind of wound? I don't know, Vincent replied, but if we can get to it, if we can seal it, we might be able to cut off their power. Xylan's voice crackled over the comm. Vincent, Mach, status report. Our last defensive line is breaking. We need a miracle, sir. Vincent believes he's found the source of their amplification, Mach relayed, his voice urgent. A wound in the planet's core. We need to get down there. There was a moment of silence from Xylan. The core is destabilizing. The structural integrity is failing. You won't make it. We have to try, Vincent insisted, his eyes fixed on the burning planet. This is our last chance. If they succeed here, it's over for the whole galaxy. Xylan's voice came back, firm. All right, Vincent, Mach, I'm rerouting all remaining Enforcer fighters to provide you with a cover. It will be a suicide run. May the ancient light guide you. Mach nodded, his expression grim. Understood, Commander. Setting course for the core, he plunged the stealth ship into the burning atmosphere. The ship rattled violently as it descended, battered by the explosions and the psychic backlash of the planet's agony. Vincent could feel the immense weight of the planet's despair pressing down on him, threatening to crush his resolve. He focused on the harmony signal within him, channeling it outwards, creating a small bubble of calm around their ship, shielding them from the worst of the psychic assault. It was exhausting, but it was working. They navigated through the chaos, dodging falling debris and hostile fire. The further they descended, the more apparent the devastation became. Buildings were crumbling, fires raged, and the cries of the terrified populace echoed in Vincent's mind. A symphony of suffering. Finally, they reached the core. It wasn't a solid mass, but a vast, swirling vortex of dark energy, pulsating with chaotic power. In its center, Vincent could see it. A massive, gaping fissure, bleeding pure despair into the planet's very being. This was the wound. This was the source of the Whisperer's power. Mach expertly navigated the stealth ship through the swirling vortex of dark energy in the planet's core. The sheer scale of the wound was terrifying. A gaping maw of cosmic despair bleeding into the very heart of the world. Vincent maintained his harmony bubble, pushing back against the oppressive tide of negative emotion. His face strained with the effort. The core's integrity is critical. Mach shouted over the ship's warning alarms. We have limited time before this entire planet implodes. Vincent focused on the wound, trying to understand its nature. It wasn't a physical rupture, but a psychic one. A concentrated point where the Void Whisperer's influence had burrowed deep, exploiting an ancient weakness, a forgotten trauma of the planet itself. It was like a spiritual wound that the Whisperers were tearing open, allowing them to flood the world with despair. He felt the full force of the Whisperer's presence here, more concentrated and powerful than ever before. It was a cold, alien intelligence, vast and ancient, mocking his efforts, reveling in the destruction it was causing. I need to get closer, Vincent said, his voice grim. I need to touch it, to understand how to seal it. Mach looked at him, his expression grim. You'll be exposed to the full force of their influence, Vincent. It could break you. It's the only way, Vincent insisted, his eyes fixed on the swirling darkness. We can't fight this with conventional weapons. It's a battle of minds, a battle for the very soul of the planet. Xylan's voice cut in, laced with concern. Vincent, Mach, are you sure about this? The risks are astronomical. We're sure, Commander, Mach replied, bringing the ship within a few hundred meters of the swirling vortex. Standing by for Vincent's command, Vincent took a deep breath, steeling himself. He knew this was the most dangerous thing he had ever attempted. He was going to face the Void Whisperers at their source, at their strongest point of influence. He had to be stronger. Lower the shields, Vincent commanded, his voice firm. Open the outer hatch. I need to be exposed to it. Mach hesitated for a moment, then complied. The ship's shields shimmered and dissolved, and the outer hatch hissed open, exposing Vincent to the raw, unfiltered psychic assault of the void. A torrent of despair, amplified by the planet's wound, slammed into him. It was a mind-shattering cacophony of fear, hatred, and hopelessness. He felt every broken heart, every lost dream, every moment of suffering that had ever occurred on the planet, all pouring into him at once. He screamed, a silent cry of agony that ripped through his mind. He saw visions, cities crumbling, families torn apart, entire civilizations succumbing to the whispers. He saw his own past, his parents, his lost memories, all twisted and distorted by the void. It tried to break him, to make him believe that all his efforts were futile, that harmony was an illusion. But amidst the onslaught, a tiny spark of light flickered within him. The harmony signal, his connection to the true order of the universe, the resilience born of his own suffering and his mother's sacrifice. He focused on it, nurturing it, allowing it to grow. He fought back, not with force, but with empathy. He pushed his own sense of unity, his compassion, his unwavering belief in connection, into the churning vortex. He was sending a counter-frequency, a wave of pure, untainted harmony. Directly into the wound, the Void Whisperers recoiled, their ethereal presence momentarily faltering. They had expected despair, collapse, but not this, not a direct counterforce from within their own chosen weapon. Vincent pushed harder, pouring every ounce of his being into the harmony signal. He was channeling the collective hope of the entire galaxy, the resilience of all the beings who had fought for peace. Against the void, he was a beacon, shining into the deepest darkness. The wound in the planet's core began to react. The swirling dark energy flickered, then slowly began to recede. Like a tide turning, the gash in the planet's psyche, instead of bleeding despair, began to glow with a faint, healing light. It was working. He was sealing the wound, but the effort was immense, draining him of every last reserve. He felt his consciousness wavering, his body screaming in protest. He was burning out, pushing himself beyond the limits of human endurance. Vincent's mind was a maelstrom of pain and focus. He was pouring his entire being into the harmony signal, countering the immense despair radiating from the planet's core. He felt the cold, ancient presence of the Void Whisperers fighting back, trying to reclaim their hold. But Vincent was stronger. He had known despair intimately, and he refused to let it win. He saw flashes of his past, not distorted by the Whisperers, but clear and pure. His mother's determined face, Mac's unwavering loyalty, Xylan's quiet wisdom, the faces of the conduits he had liberated. These were the connections that fueled his strength. The truth of harmony. Slowly, agonizingly, the dark energy in the planet's core receded further. The fissure, once a bleeding wound of despair, began to seal, glowing with a soft, warm light. The planet itself seemed to sigh in relief, its tremors subsiding, the distant explosions fading into silence. Vincent felt a wave of profound peace wash over him as the connection to the wound finally severed. He had done it. He had sealed the source of the Whisperer's amplification, but the effort had taken its toll. He collapsed forward, his body spent, his consciousness flickering. He heard Mac's frantic voice, distorted and distant. "Vincent, Vincent, respond. Are you all right?" Mac quickly pulled Vincent back into the ship, sealing the hatch and raising the shields. He then rushed to Vincent's side, his massive hands gently checking for injuries. Vincent was unresponsive, his breathing shallow, his face pale and clammy. "He's exhausted," Mac murmured, his voice laced with concern. "His mind, it's been through too much. He needs immediate medical attention." Mac quickly set a course for the nearest Enforcer medical station. Pushing the stealth ship to its limits, he navigated through the now calming, but still scarred, atmosphere of the planet. Above them, the Enforcer fleet, which had been on the verge of collapse, suddenly found renewed strength as the Whisperer's influence waned. Xylan's voice, clear and strong, resonated over the calm. "Mac, the planet, the despair is receding. What happened down there?" Vincent sealed the wound. "Commander," Mac replied, his eyes on Vincent's still form, but he pushed himself to the brink. "He needs medical help now. Bring him back immediately." Xylan commanded, relief and concern evident in his tone. "The entire galaxy stands indebted to him. Tell him he is a true guardian of harmony." At the medical station, Vincent was immediately put into a healing stasis pod, his body and mind given time to recover. The doctors monitored his brain activity, noting the incredible fluctuations he had endured, but also the remarkable resilience of his mind. Days turned into weeks. Vincent slowly recovered, his consciousness gradually returning. The overwhelming despair was gone, replaced by a deep sense of peace and a profound connection to the harmony signal. He was more attuned than ever before, his empathy refined, His understanding of the Void Whisperers deepened when he finally emerged from the stasis pod. Mock was waiting for him, a rare smile on his face. "Welcome back, Vincent. You had us worried." Vincent smiled weakly. "I knew you wouldn't let anything happen to me." Xylan soon arrived, his ancient eyes reflecting a deep respect. "Vincent, your actions have saved this planet, and potentially countless others, by sealing that ancient wound. You cut off a primary source of the Void Whisperers' power. Their influence across the galaxy has been significantly diminished. It's not over, though, is it, sir?" Vincent asked. Knowing the answer, Xylan nodded gravely. "No. The Void Whisperers are an ancient, primal force. They cannot be truly destroyed, but they can be countered. Their influence can be suppressed, and because of you, we now understand their tactics, their vulnerabilities, in a way we never did before." The war against the remnants of the Wardens intensified, with their primary source of amplification cut off, and their despair generators neutralized. The fanatic human cult began to crumble. Many of their followers, no longer under the amplified influence of the Void, became disillusioned and surrendered. The Enforcers, guided by Vincent's unique insights, systematically dismantled their remaining cells, freeing countless more worlds from their subtle manipulation. Vincent, now fully recovered, dedicated himself to the Enforcer cause. He trained new generations of empathic specialists, teaching them not only how to detect discord, but how to foster harmony. He became a living symbol of hope, a testament to humanity's resilience and its unique ability to connect, to heal, and to unite. He often visited the liberated conduits, helping them to integrate into the galaxy, sharing his own story of loss and recovery. They, in turn, became his closest allies, a brotherhood of shared experience. Their enhanced empathic abilities now used for healing and unity. The galaxy slowly began to heal, its wounds gradually closing. The unity that Vincent had championed, the harmony he had embodied, spread like a calming tide. Displaced populations returned to their homes, governments rebuilt, and a new era of cooperation dawned. Vincent, however, felt a strange sense of emptiness. The relentless fight, the constant drive to counter the Wardens, had defined him for so long. Now, with the immediate threat largely diminished, he felt a void, a quiet longing for something more. The harmony was beautiful, but it was also peaceful, and peace, for someone who had lived in constant conflict, could be a strange, unsettling thing. He still trained, still advised, still used his abilities to detect lingering pockets of discord. But the urgency was gone. He missed the thrill of the chase, the clear purpose of battle. One day, while meditating in his quarters, trying to reconcile himself with this new, quiet life, he felt a faint, distant whisper. It wasn't the despair of the Void Whisperers, but something else, something ancient and powerful, resonating from beyond the known galaxy. It was a call, a plea, from a place where harmony had never taken root. He brought it to Xylan and Mock. "There's something out there," Vincent explained, projecting the faint psychic echo he felt, "far beyond our borders. A place where the Void Whisperers are still active, completely unopposed." Xylan listened intently, his ancient eyes focused. "Our long-range sensors have detected faint energy signatures from that region, but we dismissed them as cosmic anomalies. If what you say is true, Vincent, it means the Void Whisperers are not just suppressed here. They have other strongholds, other battlegrounds. It's a place of pure chaos." Vincent continued, his voice grim. "They've been able to run rampant there for millennia. The despair, it's overwhelming." Mock looked at Vincent, a flicker of understanding in his eyes. "You want to go there, don't you?" Vincent nodded. "This galaxy is healing. It has its guardians, but those out there, they have no one. If we truly believe in harmony, we can't abandon them." Xylan considered this, then slowly rose. "The Enforcer's mandate is to protect this galaxy, venturing beyond our established borders into unknown space is a deviation from our directive. It would be a journey into extreme peril, with no guarantee of success, but it's the right thing to do." "Sir," Vincent countered, his resolve firm. "Harmony isn't just about protecting what we have. It's about spreading it, about extending hope to those who have none. If the Whisperers are truly ancient and pervasive, then our fight here was just one battle in a much larger war." Xylan looked at Mach, who nodded in silent agreement. Mach, always loyal, understood Vincent's need for purpose, for the fight for harmony to continue. "Very well, Vincent," Xylan finally said, a faint smile touching his lips. "I cannot officially sanction this mission, but I can provide you with the best stealth ship we have, unlimited resources, and Mac's unwavering support. You will go as an independent agent, a guardian of harmony, beyond our reach." Vincent felt a surge of renewed purpose. This was what he had been waiting for. This was his true calling. Preparations began. Vincent and Mach spent months researching the distant galaxy, gathering all available astronomical data, preparing for a journey into the true unknown. The liberated conduits, hearing of Vincent's new mission, volunteered to join him. Their enhanced empathic abilities, a powerful asset against the Whisperer's influence. They were a small, dedicated team, a vanguard of hope against the endless void. Before their departure, Vincent visited the monument dedicated to his mother, Catherine. He placed a hand on the cold stone, a silent promise in his heart. He was continuing her fight. On a cosmic scale, he also found Brian, the human from the reclamation facility. Brian, now an integral part of the Enforcer's historical archives, was dedicated to uncovering all truths about the Warden's past manipulations. "You're really going, aren't you?" Brian asked, a hint of envy in his voice. "Someone has to," Vincent replied, a sense of destiny in his voice. "This galaxy is safe, but there are others who aren't." Brian nodded. "Tell them our story, Vincent. Tell them that even in the darkest despair, hope can be found. Tell them about Catherine." Vincent promised he would. He knew his mother's legacy, the truth she fought for, would live on through him. Finally, the day came. Vincent, Mach, and the small team of conduits boarded their custom-built stealth vessel, a ship designed for long-range, deep space exploration and infiltration. The atmosphere in the hangar was solemn, but also filled with a quiet determination. This was not a mission of conquest, but of liberation. As the ship lifted off, leaving the familiar galaxy behind, Vincent looked out at the stars. He was no longer just a human, a victim, or a soldier. He was a guardian, an emissary of harmony, venturing into the vast, unknown cosmos, ready to face the ancient darkness, one whisper at a time. His journey, far from over, was truly just beginning. The journey into the unknown was long and arduous. Vincent, Mach, and the conduits faced challenges unlike any they had encountered before. They navigated treacherous nebulae, dodged rogue asteroids, and outmaneuvered aggressive alien species who had never known peace. Each obstacle tested their resolve, but their shared purpose, their unwavering commitment to harmony, kept them going. As they delved deeper into the distant galaxy, the whispers of despair grew stronger. Vincent could feel the pervasive influence of the Void Whisperers, unchecked and unconstrained. This was a realm where the Whisperers had ruled supreme for eons, shaping civilizations, feeding on fear and division. It was a dark reflection of what their home galaxy could have become. Their first contact with a local civilization was harrowing. The planet, a vibrant world of diverse species, was consumed by endless conflict. Factions warred constantly, driven by a deep-seated distrust and hatred that resonated with the Void's influence. Vincent landed his stealth ship in a desolate, war-torn region, disguised as a merchant vessel. He and his team, the liberated conduits by his side, began their mission. They didn't engage in direct combat. Instead, Vincent used his amplified empathy, subtly projecting waves of calm and understanding into the warring populations. The conduits, working in unison, amplified his efforts, their collective harmony a powerful counterforce to the pervasive despair. It was a slow, painstaking process. They moved from city to city, from conflict zone to conflict zone. Like invisible healers, Vincent would pinpoint the most volatile areas, the places where despair was strongest, and then flood them with harmonious energy. He spoke to individuals, using his gift to help them see beyond their ingrained hatred, to remember their shared humanity, or alien HFY. He taught them about the Void Whisperers, revealing the unseen enemy that had manipulated them for so long. Many were skeptical at first, but the consistent, calming presence of Vincent and his team, combined with the undeniable reduction in conflict, slowly began to change hearts and minds. Mach, ever the pragmatic strategist, worked tirelessly to establish lines of communication between opposing factions, showing them how to negotiate, how to compromise, how to build bridges instead of walls. He used his vast knowledge of galactic politics and logistics to set up humanitarian aid, demonstrating tangible solutions to their problems. The liberated conduits, having experienced the depths of despair themselves, became powerful voices for hope. They shared their own stories, tales of resilience and transformation, inspiring others to break free from the cycle of hatred. Their collective empathy allowed them to soothe traumatized populations, helping them to heal from centuries of conflict. Slowly, imperceptibly at first, the tide began to turn. Small pockets of peace emerged, then grew. Truces were called, negotiations began, and ancient feuds started to fade. The Void Whisperers, their influence challenged for the first time in millennia, recoiled. Their whispers of despair found less and less fertile ground. Years passed. Vincent and his team continued their tireless work, moving from planet to planet, from system to system, becoming legends in this distant galaxy. They never claimed credit, never sought fame. They were simply the silent guardians, the unseen bringers of harmony. Vincent never forgot his home galaxy, his friends Xylan and Kara, or the legacy of his mother. He carried them all within him, their love and wisdom fueling his endless journey. He understood now that harmony was not a destination, but a continuous process, a constant effort to counter the forces of discord. One day, as he stood on a newly peaceful planet, watching its diverse inhabitants finally begin to build a shared future, he felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The whispers of the void were faint here, almost imperceptible. The planet, once consumed by despair, now vibrated with a gentle, hopeful energy. He looked up at the stars, knowing there were countless other galaxies, countless other worlds, still suffering under the shadow of the Void Whisperers. His mission was far from over. He was Vincent, the guardian of harmony. He was a beacon of hope in the vast cosmos, forever destined to seek out the darkness and illuminate it with the light of connection, understanding, and peace. His journey, The endless journey of harmony continued.